discipline hate their children. Those who love their children care enough to discipline them. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another LongWalker Reacts.
It's live.
Live. Reacts. I'm still reacting.
It's a woke-ass Wednesday. That's
Yep,
what
it's Woke Wednesday. So let's get this show on the road. I've got Daughter of Otten here in the background.
Hello.
Wolfboy Productions is here.
Okay, so I'm gonna let everybody know that Daughter of Otten is the name of my channel. Mostly I
Nefer.
Nefer.
Yes, Nefer.
Nefer said
is her beautiful name.
The righteous shepherd, all things good and honorable and true. And sometimes a little bit, egotistical.
Alright, now we went through a couple different subjects trying to figure out just what would be a perfect one for today. There's a couple that we got, one will be for Friday that we'll go over. It's a little more detailed and like a deeper subject, we'll say. We didn't feel that Wednesday held that accountability. Wednesday should be more eye-rolled and really, just whatever.
It's usually supposed to be really lighthearted and kind of fun and just kind of like...
Yeah.
But it was really hard finding anything that was that, it was all deeper. It all led to something deeper, but...
Yeah, everything that we started searching for all this stuff, that's what it did. So we got this one. I hope you all like it. Let's get the ball rolling. Pardon me. Let me get to it. Alright, I'm starting off with a clip from Wolfboy Productions. Go check them out if you haven't already, and subscribe. We're trying to get that one monetized at 1,000 subscribers.
When he says they, them, when he says them, he doesn't mean they, them. He just means like they as a production
Don't
company.
get me started on that. Alright, so here's an awesome clip from him first, short. And then we're going right into woke TikTok fails, ladies and gentlemen. Woke teachers versus woke parents. Let's roll!
This after a phone or tablet was taken away from them.
What? What's gonna happen? What's gonna happen?
Oh, not right now. Mama will bring the iPad back later, okay?
And
That's what gets me.
Yes,
mimicking.
that movement. I mean, already. I mean, I'm not
really quiet for real.
as ladies and gentlemen, as Nefer was saying, that movement is what gets us, alright? We've already got kids that are starting, in their teens, like 10, 11, 12,
We have
13. Preteens.
They're showing babies. They're showing babies. This is like a very, very small child's hands. That's like probably like a 4 or 5-year-old or something.
It's leading up to that on
Oh,
mine.
sorry, but it just gets me because they're showing this self-soothing behavior, and they're like doing that.
They are.
And it's very much a self-soothing behavior, but it's like, how do they even know how to? Like, I saw one going like this, like scrolling, like he was like laying on his side, and going like that.
I know, that's ridiculous.
Like, I can't.
I know, and as I was getting to also, no, you're fine, on that, is that, you already had, like, preteens and teens getting into this habit with the phones. Now, them alone, by 30 to 40, the carpal tunnel is going to hit so many more. If you have babies starting this,
with underdeveloped
you have no chance by the time you're 20 with not having issues with carpal tunnel.
It's like, I always think about the mental health part of it, or the emotional health part of it.
Yes. Even the physical, though.
Yeah, see, that I don't think about that too often. And it's like, it was good to my hands. I'm a writer, and I use a lot of electronics. I try to limit it, but even then, I still get, like, splinting pains in here.
Yeah.
And that's from being, like, really conscious of it.
It is, for sure.
You have way more problems with carpal tunnel.
Yeah, but I've been able to manage mine too.
True.
Like, I haven't had the surgeries yet. We talked about it because I was at a point with mine where I couldn't even button up a shirt.
Mm-hmm.
My hands just wouldn't work. But I've been able to work through them, and they're actually working pretty good now. So, I mean, we'll see how long that lasts.
It's true. I didn't think about it. You've gone through 2 winters now where I haven't had to help you with buttoning stuff up or opening things and stuff. So a lot of that comes down to taking better care of your body, watching what you're eating.
Yes, it does.
Stretching your ligaments.
That's a big one.
And of course, prayer, meditation.
Yes.
Always at the core of it, right?
It is. So, yeah, ladies and gentlemen, I mean, this is getting really bad. And that's one of the subjects that we're going to cover here is going to be the iPad Kids era. You will see that shortly. Let's finish off Wolf Boy Productions short, and then we'll go right into the next one.
Oh, this is the dark future of iPad kids, also known.
I wanted to go ahead and talk about this because it's been asked so many times, and it's really important to me and Billy and the rest of our family, especially Aiden. I do this with Aiden's permission. If anyone follows Aiden on TikTok, they know that she came out as trans not too long ago, and I think that that is absolutely wonderful. Our opinion on it is only Aiden knows who she is, and as her parents, we support her. We are so proud of Aiden for being so brave and being able to say to the world, this is who I am. I am proud of both Aiden and Austin. They are seriously some of the most beautiful humans that I know. Today, Aiden starts the next step of her journey, and we're going to her pediatrician and getting a referral to the gender clinic at Seattle Children's. And that's all there is to it.
I think you're all in the head.
Now, when a normal functioning...
Hold on. How old is what child?
The one she's talking about.
The one he goes into right here is 4 years old, it says, announces, but I'm not sure. I think was it the same one? That she
I don't think so.
Then I'm not entirely sure
There's
on
just
that
somebody
one.
talking about taking their child to the gender clinic.
Yeah.
You know, the gender clinic.
The gender clinic.
Like, that has its own
I mean,
thing.
it's a thing now.
Yeah.
That's how common it's becoming, ladies and gentlemen. It's becoming so common, it's a thing. The gender clinic. The fact that we have gone so far away from science and knowing what you are is astonishing to me. We have anatomy. The anatomy tells you what you are. That's the way that it should be. You know, I'm not saying that the trans movement is wrong or anything. But, I mean, I've you know, seen a lot of films from a few different trans people that did it right, and they have no problem. You know, they're not asking to be called this or that. All they, you know, and they pass. They look like what they say they are.
Yeah, we've known 2 or 3 in person.
Yes.
And it was just never a thing. It was just like, okay, you kind of go through that, and then you just move on with your life, and it's never been an impact on how you judge their character or anything.
Exactly.
It's how they carry themselves and things that they do with their life that matters. And
It very much so is.
dealing with gender dysphoria.
Yes. But now you are getting this generation of wanting to confuse people. Wanting to make everybody else's life so miserable with this guessing game. You know, they're pulling out all these pronouns, and you must learn them, or you're transphobic. Well, I'm sorry, I'm not going to.
So,
I mean, call me transphobic, call me what you will. You know, I'm not gonna bend over backwards for somebody that more than likely will find another reason just to confront me or go off on me. Because that's who they are. 2/3 of those people, no matter what, will find another reason if you get that right. The anger in these people are astonishing. It's crazy.
Like I said, I think for next week I'm going to try and find you some videos for the new trend of gender reveal parties. And most of these that I saw are not for adults having it in a fun, flashy, fun kind of like adult way. It's still children. And it's presented as like a birthday party, or, you know, like there's games and there's cake and there's prizes and their friends are there and their family's there. They're being heralded as their new gender. Of course kids are going to want to do that.
Yes.
It's another reach for attention.
Yeah, and it's another, as you were saying before when we talked about it, party. Just another reason to have a party, ladies and gentlemen.
Guys, as a previous priestess of Bast, I'm here to tell you that you don't really need to have a real good reason to have a party. You can just say, I'm feeling good things are happening in my life, let's schedule time to get together and have a party. You don't have to have a special occasion, and that's no reason to be making this stuff up and pushing that agenda.
Exactly.
I'll let you get going on that.
Yep. Let's get back to this one. I think I'm getting a little off topic on that one.
Yeah, so far.
Society. That crazy person we just heard talking would show up at the doctor's office with her son and say, Doc, listen, we really need to boost up those TikTok likes, so we're going to need some very strong medication, possibly schedule a surgery to turn my son into my daughter. And the doctor would say, whoa, slow your roll, step back a minute, we're talking about a child here. And, maybe schedule a mental health screening, possibly call Child Protective Services. However, in a society that has been overrun by the woke mind virus, this is what you get from the doctors.
Hi, my name is Priya Dar. I'm one of the doctors at the Center for Adolescent and Young Adult Health here at the Children's Hospital of Pittsburgh. I wanted to talk to you guys today a little bit about puberty blockers. Puberty blockers are basically a medication that says, hey, let's just put a pause on puberty. And that can be really beneficial for younger kids who have already started the puberty process, who either might go through a lot of psychological distress as they go through puberty if they're struggling with gender dysphoria, or for somebody who's saying, hey, I'm not really sure if I feel comfortable in my body or what gender I truly identify with.
You're not a doctor. You're a big, fat, curly-headed...
My opinion, the medical community has zero credibility, especially after the past 2.5 years of all the nonsense we went through. Anyway, we're back. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I hope you're all having an amazing weekend so far. And today, I'm going to let you guys...
Yes, and ladies and gentlemen, you do not need a doctor for everything. You don't even need a doctor for all that much anymore. I mean, knowing yourself, eating right, and, knowing the balance within the food, rest, and everything else is key to keeping a healthy body. Our whole family here, we only see a doctor when absolutely necessary. Our son's like once a year, I think.
Yeah, and only because they pretty much mandate it, for the school, so he has his vaccines and he's like made sure that his asthma is managed and everything.
Yes.
I haven't been to the doctor. Hold on a second. I haven't been to the doctor in 7 years.
Yeah.
8 years.
Yeah.
And even before that, it was only because I needed to have medication prescribed. It was not there for colds or flus.
Exactly.
Even really some major injuries. But we still know our limits. It's like if there's a serious broken bone, or if there's something that's flesh is hanging from the bone and there's blood everywhere, then it's like we know our limits, and we're not afraid to get medical intervention.
Exactly.
But everybody overuses that. They take all their power and give it away to some outside entity.
And that's...
And there's zero credibility.
Yes.
If it's not this, it's the other. It's the opiates and the drug pushing of,
It is.
fentanyl and stuff.
And that crisis is just outrageous.
Yeah. So there's all kinds of stuff that's going on with the medical community. It's driven by money. It's just not a good place to be.
No, it's not.
It's like, so you gotta be reasonable, but it's just, I think that doctors honestly should be avoided at this point.
They should, yes. They should definitely be avoided. And, just alone with the whole thing that I cannot say, that alone was just outrageous. And I mean, I stayed away from doctors from that, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I had gotten a motorcycle crash, severed my eyebrow here.
Yeah, you can see all the fascia, all the ligaments holding that, down, it's hanging there.
And we took care of it all here at home.
Yeah, you broke your foot?
Yeah, my foot was shattered.
You are, as they say, the long walker.
Yes.
That's what you do. You walk. Your life was irrevocably changed because of that motorcycle accident.
It really was, yes.
But you handled it. We handled it 100% naturally.
Yep.
Based on information from, growing up here and knowing about native medicines and, again, prayer,
Yes.
meditation, listening to your body, proper nutrition. I gave you
Exactly.
a lot of extra boosters around that time, lots of red meats and everything.
You
to help
did,
heal-
yes.
Healing
And
process.
you helped with a lot of it. I mean, you're the one that made sure that everything I needed, I got.
And within 3 weeks, you were up moving around fairly
Yeah.
well, but,
Yeah, with a cane.
you know.
Took me a couple of months to truly get back to my feet.
Yeah, but and you still do have some aches and pains from time to time.
Yes.
But it hasn't really stopped you from doing
No.
what you do.
And as long as you know your body, as long as you are true to your body, not much should be able to stop you. Truthfully. So,
Let's go.
yep. All right, ladies and gentlemen, get back to this again before we get further off topic again.
Decide which is worse, the woke TikTok teachers that we see constantly, or the woke TikTok parents. You decide.
TikTok is degenerate trash. Correct. Everything woke turns to shit. Okay.
There is just no argument against that statement. I'm sorry, there's just not. Anyway, thank you guys so much for coming back. So if you're wondering what's going on the screen here, so it's a story from the New York Post, NewYorkPost.com. This is crazy. Four-year-old announces, "I'm a boy." So this is a little 4-year-old girl that announces, "I'm a boy," in transgender reveal at, and I had to cut that off because it says a little boy's name. I don't want. 4-year-old, so a 4-year-old little girl goes, this is at a pride parade. 4-year-old girl, it doesn't say girl, 4-year-old girl announces, "I'm a boy," in a gender reveal at a pride parade. Oh, we have the clip. Roll the film, please.
Boys have a penis, girls have a vagina.
Well, yes, at one time, everybody recognized those as undisputable facts of biology, but not anymore.
What I was
I
saying.
kept that on mute just because there was a copyrighted song playing in the background. But you guys saw it. There's a little girl up there with the trans flag on, with this lady it was Pride Parade, Pride flag on. Popped one of those little fireworks poppers there, spit out blue. So a little girl says, "I'm a boy now," runs over and hugs mother. Four. And mother's okay. Mother's okay with all this. Keep it moving. All right, so listen, we've seen at this point probably hundreds of these woke teachers on this channel. For the past, year and a half, we've just covered video after TikTok of these woke teachers spewing this nonsense.
No, we didn't.
Now we're seeing more and more of the parents doing it. Now, when these little children decide these things, they go to these pride parades and say, "I'm a boy now, not a girl anymore." The mother says, "Well, we're going to take our son to the gender clinic and it's going to be our daughter." We all know that's not the child's decision. We all know that. It's a child. If it was, children would be allowed to vote. They'd be allowed to drink. They'd be allowed to smoke. They'd be allowed to drive cars. They'd be allowed to whatever. We all know. I saw this news clip and it infuriated me. This is just 100% proof that we already knew that these parents are coaching these children on exactly what to say. Watch the mother's mouth when this poor child speaks. This was on the...
Okay, before we advance on with this one just outrages me to the highest. Just watch and you will all learn. I mean, this... If a parent is doing this, they, honest to God, need to be sent to jail.
Yeah, they need to go in for treatment and then remain in treatment.
Yes, they do.
Give you an egg. Oh shit, sorry. I made eggs for him. This is the last of it, so I want to make sure you guys...
Today's show, or whatever it is. Roll the film, please.
Kieran Clausen collects crystals. She dabbles in face paint, and she loves sports. What do you play?
I did play volleyball, soccer, and I want to play basketball.
To Kieran, who's transgender, it's not about racking up victories.
I don't want to win any trophies for it, though. I feel like that's the most unfair way to compete because it's not about winning.
What's it about?
Having fun with your friends for it, though. I feel like that's the most unfair way to compete because it's not about winning. Sport, though, I feel like that's the most unfair way to compete because it's not about winning. Sport, though, I feel like that's the most unfair way to compete because it's not about winning.
What's it about?
Having fun with your friends.
But next week, her state, Indiana, will ban trans girls like her from playing girls' sports, joining at least 15 other states with similar laws. Now, the Clausens' only hope is that the courts will step in.
It's tough. It's hard to do everything that you can to support your child and then have lawmakers come in who don't know anything and say that you're doing the wrong thing for your child. It's really hard.
Kieran seems undeterred with a message now about her journey.
Ladies and gentlemen, they know enough. They know enough about these people to know what needs to be done. I mean, a male competing in female sports is wrong. I don't care what they identify as. The bones are different. The structures are different of the whole body. I mean, these people most generally had testosterone running through their system. Most of the time.
I'll clip in some of the stuff that we saw this morning with the athletes that got hurt in middle school.
Yeah, we'll put that into the comments, right?
I'll just clip it into it and do a little video.
Okay, so
like I did with your last live thing.
Nepper will make a new video out of this then and clip it in. So, but yeah, I mean, my stance still stays always that trans should not compete in the division that they quote unquote think they are. It should be their born identity that they have to compete with.
The biological makeup, right?
Yeah, biological.
Yeah, I agree.
Stop being you. That's it.
Never stop being you.
There's so many kids that don't even have the opportunity to express who they really are. We are acknowledging more people as who they are than taking something away from somebody else. Tough. It's hard to do everything that you can to support your child and then
ridiculous.
And then have lawmakers come in who don't know anything.
I suggest you stop whining like a little.
Oh, what a sick, twisted, evil human being. It's on screen with a crocodile tears and makes it all about,
Nope. Sorry, people.
What is it called? Munchausen by proxy or something, when they have an illness and they push it off on their children. They try to tell their child, okay, be yourself. We're going to let you be whoever you want to be. No, you're not. You have scripted the life you want your child to lead, and that was turning your son into your daughter and pretend that the participation trophies are okay. No, sports is all about winning. That's all. That's it. There's a winner and there's a loser. Second place is the first loser. That's it. That's it. As I said, these people have scripted their child's lives to get themselves in front of the camera, to get themselves TikTok clicks and TikTok likes and Instagram followers and all this other nonsense. And the children are always the ones who suffer the most. And, that burns my head. Moving right along. This next one, so if you have parents at home, like the first two we saw, the one in the first clip, and then the lady coaching her child's speech, you have parents like that at home, then you send your child to school, and this is the teacher. The children just don't stand a chance. Roll the film.
This is in reference to me hanging my pride flag in my classroom in Texas. I'm gonna be real with you. I don't know if I'm allowed to hang it up this year. But I did. And to double down, I now have pride lights across the top of my whiteboard too. Honestly, I don't know how admin's gonna react. I don't know if they're gonna react at all. But I do know that hanging this up is one of the things that makes my classroom as safe as it is. And I'll keep it up until somebody tells me to take it down. So I guess I'll keep y'all updated.
What were you saying, Nipper?
I was saying I would think that you can't see me here, can you?
A little bit, but I'm covering you,
How about
so
that?
you're fine.
I think that it would create more of a conflict to have the pride flag
Yeah, it should.
in your classroom.
I mean, it should.
I mean, necessarily, maybe it shouldn't. I mean, people shouldn't get as offended about a flag as they do.
No,
But
they never should.
Just
No.
like as you see, socially, it does cause a lot of conflict.
Yeah, it truly does.
I
Yes.
mean, you see what the conflicted people do on the street with the street preacher, and it's like that's the only kind of connotation that I have with that flag now is the aggressive, angry,
I know.
paranoid, prideful behavior, and then they hang it up in a child's classroom. It's like that's all I can see.
Well, and children should not know about this kind of thing. They should not be introduced to it.
No.
They should be able to live their life as children. Live out your into your teens. Do kid stuff until you get to be 18, and then you can start to learn about things.
Well, I think that you could start to learn about things like around the same time that they start teaching about like sex ed and everything.
Yes.
But then beyond that, it needs to be when they're of a valid age.
Yes.
Like 18 for anything. I mean, pride for sure they don't need to know about until they're like 18. But the discussion about sexuality and stuff should probably start around 12, 13, 14.
Yes.
But only if they bring it up. It's like
Exactly, and also it depends on on the parents too.
Right.
What the parents believe and think.
Right. It's like we're really open with him, and he knows about these sorts of things because it's there on the internet all the time. And so it's like we talk about these sorts of things, but that we have really strong boundaries.
Yes.
And he doesn't. He gets it.
Oh, he does. Yeah. And we make sure of that. I mean, it's because we sit there and talk with him and go over everything.
And show him the darker side of this.
Exactly.
And we know the truth. We know where this is leading, and we can prove that through history and scripture.
Yes.
And cultural, stories.
Exactly. All right.
Well, I don't know. It's really messed up. Super gay.
Well, here's a thought. If you don't know if you should hang it up, how about just don't? How about not? How about just don't do it? My personal opinion, the only flag that should be flying in these classrooms across the United States, this flag right behind me, possibly the state flag of the state that you're in. If you don't know it's okay, don't do it. Why would you do it? It makes no sense to me that you gotta fly. How is that? I don't understand any of this. To tell you the honest truth, I don't get it. How does a flag make a classroom safe when the flag just is a symbol of who you like to have relations with? That makes zero sense to me. This teacher activist has earrings on that say they, them. They, them? What? Teacher, teaching children. Let's keep it moving, please. This next clip. This next clip is weird. It's weird. It's some school board get together in Florida, and
was that
I mean, these people don't only just admit they're woke; they brag about being woke. You'd think if anyone was paying attention, they'd stay as far away from the woke mind virus as possible. Not these school board members and teachers. Anyway, before I roll, I got to give a couple of huge shout outs. First of all, we have a couple of super thanks from the last few videos. A couple of our good friends, Steve Harloha and David John Moxley, Skip, who is a channel member. Thank you guys so much for the super thanks. Greatly appreciated, as always, gentlemen. Also, today's video, we have one sponsor. Today's video is being sponsored by none other than Tom Oakes, the Apex Professor. Now, Tom has a program, and what it is, I'll explain it very briefly. And from now until Friday, September 16th, he's giving a discount of all classes. Now, he teaches classes, shows kids and parents how to spot online predators.
I don't want to get in trouble for having paid.
The program is great, so if you're interested or have any friends or family members that might be interested, I will post a link to that in the description box below. So once again, Tom, thank you very much for sponsoring today's video. I think you have a great thing going there, helping the kids that obviously are inundated with this nonsense. Now, if you'd like to sponsor the next video and help support the channel, there is a PayPal link in the description box below. I will say your full name as a sponsor of said video unless stated otherwise by you. This video, I had to edit out of my last one, this clip here, because the sound is really weird. You're going to hear an echo, but you'll be able to tell what's going on. So just go with it. I was going to leave it out, but I have to show you guys. This is insane. Especially look at what's on the screen here. That person teaches kids. That scares kids. Roll the film, please.
We should introduce, this is Tom Edwards, school board member, in case anybody doesn't know that.
I just wanted to give a little reassurance that here in the state of Florida, there are school board members that are woke. We're here. And we're working we have your backs.
You know what woke means? It means you're a loser.
You need to know we have your backs, and we're working in the best strategic spot because we're on the inside. We're working from the inside. And it's, from my point of view, I've spent not quite 2 years to earn credibility and to earn trust. And that is a long, slow process. But I'm not the only one in the state of Florida. And I need to tell you, so that you feel a little better, there are coalitions forming to protect you.
These communists are all cowards.
So I'm sure with that school board meeting or whatever it was, and I apologize again for the echo. I'd mess around with the volume and audio here so you guys could at least hear what they were saying. I put in the last video, it was just muted, the whole thing. It's terrible. Anyway, so that's in regards to the parental rights bill in Florida that Ron DeSantis put through, that the left calls, that the Marxists called it Don't Say Gay bill. So these people are admitting, oh yeah, we're woke, and we have other woke teachers and school board members strategically placed on the inside to protect you guys and keep you guys safe. Look at this guy. Look at this guy right in the middle there. Like, it looks like he was unfrozen back from, like I said, Encino Man back in the the caveman times. I mean, I don't know if that's. You think that guy is going to scare little children, depending on the age? I don't know. Is that a good look for a teacher? I don't know.
Get a haircut, hippie.
Chocolate chip.
Eat some chocolate chip.
Welcome to the age of iPad kids. Gen Z, we're told, is terrified by the prospect of raising a generation of children who are slaves to their iPads. The term
Alright, this one goes into what the main topic of what we're talking about is. It's the iPad kids, and all about how they started. So let's get into it.
iPad kids is commonly used to describe children who are raised without any restrictions on their screen time, and the topic, ironically enough, gained significant traction on TikTok amongst TikTok kids. There is now a whole genre of TikTok videos that have garnered millions of views, where users openly criticize and ridicule the behaviors of iPad kids, throwing tantrums when the devices are taken away, displaying a complete disinterest in engaging with others, lacking the ability to play with traditional toys, etc. But behind all the sarcasm and dark humor lies a whole host of uncomfortable truths about where our society is going. The kids of today are bad, but the kids of tomorrow will be living a life we can't even think of. Generation Alpha is something we don't want to think about. But what's actually going to happen to these kids in the future? Well, to understand what's going to happen and why iPad kids are such a terrifying phenomena, we need to look at how things were a few decades ago. It wasn't long ago when it was normal for children to play outside, unsupervised for extended periods of time, specifically to play with other kids from their neighborhoods. Your parents probably did the same, all for extended periods of time, completely unsupervised, playing sports, building forts, and climbing trees. And doing this helped children develop useful skills for their adult years. They learn how to communicate, how to negotiate, how to delegate, how to defend themselves, how to make friends, and the importance of teamwork. It helped them develop lifelong friendships. Play helped these children develop as humans to become, as the author Nicholas Taleb said, anti-fragile. It fostered creativity. Play, along with other key components like community, traditional family values, and religion, helped form what...
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, to give a little history here too. My wife and I are both what did you say?
Gen Y.
Gen Y.
Yeah.
And, end of the millennials.
No. Like beginning. Well, no, I guess it would have been the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess they call them millennials because we had our most prime in the 2000s, which was like when the new millennium thing started.
Yes.
And it's just really disappointing to me to be called a millennial.
I know.
You know, here we are.
But, yeah, that's what we are. And even as a kid growing up at that point, my life was half, video games and half outside. You know, I played on the computer a lot. But we still played outside a lot too. I mean, summers were spent in my friend's pool, running the streets, playing, you know, baseball, football in the streets. I mean, just what we did.
I grew up in the wild, so I didn't even get my first like gaming station until the N64, so that was like 1996.
Yes.
And I was still like super limited on that. I didn't even know how to really play it until about 3 years later when I was about 13. We had television, but we mostly watched movies. I never watched any mainstream shows, so a lot of that stuff still goes over my head. And like the first handheld game system I had was a DS, so that wasn't until I was like 16. And
yeah, that's like the start of all that, you know.
We didn't have phone coverage, so we didn't, even when people did have cell phones out there and they could text.
Exactly, we didn't have the ability.
Yeah, I didn't have it out where I live, where I came from. So, and the internet, we didn't get the internet until I was about 14. So we were a little late in the game out there, but
yeah.
I do definitely see a separation why people act the way that they do, and then how I was raised. It's like I can't get my head around some of these things.
Yes.
And it's like that's how significant technology had been when we were
very much so.
That age, you know. Now, we're the parents of the Gen Alphas that are the iPad kids.
Yeah.
You know, that's unfortunate. There's so many people saw this as a good and convenient thing. Okay, now.
But
he had a Leap Pad, you know, when he was 1.
Yes, he did.
And he played educational things on that and everything. And he liked to go for my DS, my Nintendo DS, you know. It was
those stories, yes.
He would roll off the mat, you know, to try to get to the DS. And
yep.
But yeah, even with him, we still raised him to be mindful and limited.
Of how much screen time, yes.
Right, and even still,
to this day,
I had a problem with him though when he was about 6 to 7 years old with YouTube. That was before we even had good, reliable internet, you know. And it was like it was really difficult because I was trying to do this stuff on my own, and you know he had it, and it was like it would just like get it when I was sleeping and be on it, and it would hours would go by,
and then some of the disturbing things that
yeah, we'll get into that. I'm sure there's another part here, but it was really a problem even then, and that was being mindful of it and not wanting to be on for that long.
Exactly. Is that?
Yep.
Okay. Let's get on with this.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Philosopher Peter Bircher called a sacred canopy, an invisible structure that's stretched over society, providing a shield that protects people from the uncertainties and cruelties of life. Outdoor, unsupervised play helped create better citizens and, in turn, a better society. However, in the early 80s, outdoor, unsupervised play became far less frequent, replaced instead by closely monitored trips to the park and heavily supervised playdates. By 1997, the year Generation C officially began, the days of widespread unstructured play were officially dead. And fast forward to today, an outdoor, unsupervised play has almost been entirely replaced by indoor, unsupervised screen time, and family time replaced by screen time. Today's children suffer from nature deficit disorder, a term coined by author Richard Louv.
We're creating an environment in which I believe, by definition, they are less alive. What parent wants their child to be less alive? What teacher wants their students to be less alive?
At the same time, rates of childhood conduct disorder, a precursor to psychopathy, continues to increase. This worrying rise is completely connected to a lack of unsupervised play and the fact that more and more parents are outsourcing their role as primary caregivers. And outsourcing to who? Well, the people who control the algorithms. Artificial intelligence like Siri, Alexa, and a whole host of other artificial creations have zero interest in protecting the most vulnerable, and instead using them as pawns to advertise to, mold, and create into the ideal people for Amazon, Apple, or whatever big tech company. In truth, these advanced algorithms target babies and toddlers, identifying their weaknesses and exploiting them mercilessly. So as they grow up, they're always dependent on their tablets, and the effects of this will be disastrous for society. But the problem is today it's more and more tempting to rely on screens. Parents today have so many things to do. Both parents usually work now because no one has any money anymore. And so when parents come back exhausted, it's just so much easier to give their kid an iPad, while the parents can relax for an hour or two. But ongoing research consistently highlights the long-term effects of excessive screen time on kids. Such effects include memory impairment, reduced emotional control, heightened levels of apathy and anxiety, lower levels of empathy, delays in speech and language development, and even criminal behavior. And when parents aren't watching their young ones, sexual predators are. And I mean that quite literally, but more on that later. In 2017, psychologist Dr. Jean M. wrote for The Atlantic that Generation Z has in many ways been destroyed by the rise of smartphones. And we all know this. Generation Z is more anxious, more depressed, more suicidal, less likely to date, less likely to have sex, less likely to venture outside, less likely to have any friends, less likely to talk to family members, more lonely, more isolated, and more depressed. Generation Z is down bad. We all can see this. It's a horrific transformation in the last few decades that has created the generation we see today. But just think of Generation Alpha, i.e. the iPad kids, who are going to be even sicker, dumber, sadder, and more lonely than Generation Z is today. Not to mention fatter. You see, children in the past would engage in hours of play every day, which not only allowed them to burn calories and maintain their physical fitness, but also facilitated social interaction, enhanced cognitive abilities, and alleviated stress. However, as playtime has diminished, all aspects of childhood development have been negatively affected, with the consequences on health and obesity being particularly concerning. The association between increased screen time and obesity is undeniable. More screen time activity tends to go hand in hand or hand in mouth with higher food consumption and less long-term gratification. Multiple studies have demonstrated that prolonged screen exposure actually leads to a heightened desire for food and increased snacking habits amongst children and teenagers. And to compound this, studies show that the most obese children go on to become obese adults. In fact, about 55% of kids who are obese during their childhood will continue to be obese during their adolescence, ostracizing them even further. That's why it's now estimated that around 80% of adolescents who are obese will still be obese when they reach adulthood, ostracizing them further and further, making them more unhealthy, making them have less testosterone and less ability to actually enjoy life as they should be. And if you don't believe me, most children now have a cell phone by the age of 7. Just look around you. So many kids at restaurants everywhere you go are on their iPads or their iPhones, going online for hours at a time, doing things that their parents are completely oblivious to, fueling a huge mental health epidemic for children, which is why in recent years there have been record levels.
Yeah, that is one thing too, is that kids are now allowed to be on the devices so much that their parents don't even know half of the time how much they're truly on it.
No, they're on their own devices anyway.
Yeah, I mean, most kids have their own, either iPad, have their own phone, just depending on their age.
And time goes by so fast.
Oh, it does when you're on it. Even playing video games, any of those stuff, you'll lose track of time like no other.
3 hours will go by and it feels like 45 minutes.
Yes, it does.
And on being online, always doom scrolling and stuff is just like one of the biggest downfalls.
Yes.
Both adults and children, I believe.
That is for sure.
Of sadness and self-harm within kids. Instagram in particular has been found to have detrimental effects on mental well-being. A study investigating the frequency of Instagram use revealed a strong link between its usage and various negative lower self-esteem, appearance anxiety, and body dissatisfaction. Millions of children as young as 10 use Instagram and are regularly bombarded with sexualized imagery and traumatizing self-harm footage. Not to mention always feeling insecure compared to the people who live better lives than you, or at least they seem to. So is it any wonder that kids today are so miserable if we're setting them up like this in the first place? Their innocence is being ripped away from them at such a young age and replaced with something truly awful. Even YouTube Kids, designed specifically to cater to children as young as 4, is really not safe at all. The application has been shown to offer children content of a sexual nature, as well as material focusing on alcohol and drug consumption, predator content, and other strange things really not meant for 4-year-olds. More recently, a number of reports have emerged regarding harmful material on YouTube that specifically targets children as young as 2.
We have isolated some of these so people can understand exactly what we're talking about. On the left of the screen, there's the real episode of Peppa Pig when
goes to the dentist, and on the right, that fake that you're talking about, fear, torturous appearance. And here's another example that we pulled from Paw Patrol, which you mentioned, firefighter to the rescue, and then on the right, the fake, the crash, the death, the fear.
Basically, nefarious individuals have tampered with content from popular and cherished children's franchises, including well-known shows like Peppa Pig, Nickelodeon.
And it was like, there was like Peppa Pig, and it showed Peppa Pig in a dentist office in two separate things. And one of them showed the dentist like all mean and like this, you know, and stuff, and the other was, you know, a different dentist that was all
That's
nice.
right, okay. That's when the Momo thing was going around too, huh?
Yeah, and then also, I also remember when they faked Chase's death from Paw Patrol.
Oh.
And they somehow matched the animation just perfectly so it actually looked like an episode.
That's crazy.
And I, again, being around 3 or 4, I got sad. And I started to cry.
That's crazy.
So like, there ain't no way that actually happened.
It was about 5 or 6, I think, because he was already in kindergarten.
Yeah, that.
Let's see, that was around that whole same time when he was about 6 years old. And all of these crazy internet things were going on.
Yes.
And I do remember everybody talking about some of this stuff.
That's crazy.
Even then. That's crazy, man.
Against Paw Patrol and Disney's Froze. These perpetrators have inserted inappropriate and unsettling content featuring beloved characters, causing subliminal trauma to unsuspecting toddlers. And these are the people bringing up children today. When you get parents out or they come back from work all tired and exhausted, they just give the iPad to the kid who is then raised by these predators. The girls seem to have it way worse than the boys. It's just more and more we find out how bad social media really is for women in particular. We've all seen these articles like teen girls are facing a mental health epidemic. Teen girls report record levels of sadness. American teen girls are not okay. Each one loaded with these horrific stories and weird side effects. And in recent times, psychological professionals have seen a huge rise in individuals seeking help for mental health disorders and symptoms resembling Tourette's syndrome. And it's coming out more and more that TikTok's actually to blame here, as these are now being called TikTok tics, where young individuals, particularly young girls, are manifesting symptoms of various disorders due to exposure to social media influencers who themselves exhibit these symptoms. TikTok tics are distinct from what medical professionals usually see in patients with Tourette's. They're an example of mass sociogenic illness, or mass hysteria, where behaviors, emotions, or conditions spread spontaneously within a group, including groups. Moreover, the more time individuals, especially girls, spend on social networking websites, the more likely they are to experience psychological distress and even contemplate ending their life. But 60% of young girls claim they have now experienced bullying online as well, just compounding the mental health epidemic even worse. Is it any wonder that Gen Alpha is doomed? If Generation Z is as messed up as it is today, what's the generation of iPad kids going to look like in 20 years? Especially when screens and social media are not only ruining their mental health, but also making them devoid of any emotion in the first place. You see, there isn't just a rise in TikTok tics, but social media sites like TikTok and YouTube are actually shown to increase psychopathy. Now, psychopaths, otherwise known as people who suffer from antisocial personality disorder, are characterized by their coldness, manipulativeness, antisocial nature, and narcissistic tendencies. And of all the people in society, they tend to be some of the most toxic, doing whatever is needed to get what they want when they want it. Society and your well-being is of no importance. They will do anything they can to get whatever they want. And this disorder is often associated with early childhood encounters such as maltreatment and rejection. And yes, you probably guessed it, extensive use of screens and social media. To be diagnosed with psychopathy, one must be over the age of 18. Before 18, a child is diagnosed with something called conduct disorder, a severe behavioral problem which often involves aggression and law-breaking tendencies. And the research clearly shows that childhood CAD symptoms are significantly associated with greater daily social media use during emerging adulthood, and that more daily social media use is significantly associated with various antisocial behaviors. Antisocial conduct in childhood is a strong predictor of criminal behavior in adulthood. And if you think about it, our society already in the West is designed to promote the most psychopathic of all. The most greedy, narcissistic are rewarded the most. And this hamster wheel is only going to increase, especially with screen time hampering our capacity to interpret facial expressions and acquire social skills, both of which are crucial elements of cultivating empathy. And once social media removes empathy from the human equation, and you quickly find yourself by a large amount of Patrick Bateman-like people, the most virtue-signaling, empty, vacuous, plastic people who have no care for the society that has brought them up or the people around them. Just more instant gratification, more dopamine. This is the generation of iPad kids. And of course, not everyone's going to be a psychopath, of course not. It's an incredibly rare thing in the first place. But the lack of empathy and growing narcissism that growing up on an iPad causes is a really worrying sign, especially when you look at modern-day influencers today, the people actually raising your children. You see more and more influencers are always there in your child's life now. They're the ones on your screen, the ones trend-jacking TikTok, the ones setting the culture of today. And when you look at the biggest influencers now who flaunt their opulent lifestyles and endorse things like OnlyFans, are these really the people?
Alright, this still seems pretty deep in. We got a pretty good gist of, you know, the iPad kid and the thing. So we're gonna try to go into one of my next ones that kind of puts a couple more things into play there. Let me get to it.
Hey, what do you know about viruses? One of their main goals is to spread as much as it can.
Yes.
Viruses usually do it through droplets or particles or through contact. And I think it's time to include TikTok there too. Don't think that I'm a boomer who believes that you can get ill because of TV or microwave. I'll make them ill. I'm talking about TikTok because my whole FYP has been overtaken by Gen Alpha just like a virus. I mean, I don't call kids viruses. Yeah, they are small and live only because you're their resource, but it's not the topic of the video. Firstly, we called them iPad kids. Then it was called Gen Alpha brain rot, now it's Sephora kids. But all of these are simply kids that were born between these years. And the main reason why everyone keeps talking about them is that they do wild stuff. For example, lately everyone noticed that Sephoras have been destroyed by a hurricane consisting of kids. Firstly, I wanted to say, well, kids, they want to destroy everything. But then I thought that when I was a child, I never had an urge to break something. I remember how once I accidentally broke a toy while I was with my mother in a shop. And I became so stressed that I forgot where I was and got lost. Wouldn't lie, I would probably get the same reaction even at my current age. And wait, what do 10 years olds do in Sephora? The right answer is buying skincare products that are more expensive than my left hand.
Get rid of me only using my new glow recipe, baby.
Oh my god.
Peace out, bro.
The glow recipe result was already on her skin because she's very, very young. Let's not blame the girl for that, because the person who always encourages and gets
Mepper was just saying stuff on that, and it's like, that just drives me insane, the fact that they can allow their kids to act that grown up.
And the whole thing is so wrong. It's like you need to teach them how to have good hygiene and to clean their face and to moisturize their face with very simple ingredients. But they're like already teaching them to put these chemical laden things on their faces. And it's not going to develop right. They're going to end up getting serious acne and dryness and all these problems later on down the line. And
oh my god, yes.
that's not even to say anything about the very superficial, materialistic way that they display it with these videos.
Yeah.
You know, they should not be making videos like that.
No. They should not.
Profit from this is always behind the scene, her mother. But I got to say that this little girl already sounds like a real adult TikToker. If you forget about peace out, bro. In her 7 years, she's learned how to talk like a real influencer and how to lie like one. Because she obviously had a great skin before any of those products. Kids are simply too young to have any skin problems. That's why I only trust Chinese advertisements. They try out beauty products in the most unrealistic circumstances. I want to know how my foundation is going to look like after landing with a parachute in a lake full of hippos' poops. How did I manage to change the topic from kids to hippos' poops? Anyway, this trend became so popular that in combination with the poor behavior, we have something more scary than just destroyed products.
I didn't know they came with the blushes. Excuse me, go ahead and
that one? It's last one.
Yeah, I was thinking about getting it mine.
But you're a boy.
I can't. Even when I listen to this dialogue, my anxiety starts to grow. This breaks all norms of communication. What if they come to me and say that I'm too old for makeup? I think makeup is suitable for any gender, of course, but the young age, on the other hand, is questionable. I don't like normalizing 10-year-olds looking like teenagers. The age of Leonardo DiCaprio's girlfriends is already on the age of normality, if we can call it that. Steal your mother's cosmetics and draw something ugly on your face. That's what you're supposed to do. But I truly understand why kids want to use skincare for adults. All of us wanted to be an adult as a child. But should parents buy very expensive skincare that wasn't made for kids is a good question. It's great that you can afford it, but the products are not suitable for children. I don't know how to feel about it because I've never had that amount of skincare. I know that kids want to feel older, but damaged skin won't help it. In reality, the only thing that makes you feel like an adult is problems. Don't ask Santa for financial and existential crisis. It's not fun. Skincare for 10-year-olds. Water, moisturizer, sunscreen. No, you forgot the main products such as anti-aging serum. As we know, at the age between 7 to 12, your skin ages the most.
Right.
And every drunk elephant product, because a lot of their products contain retinol in them. I wish I was joking about kids using it. Retinol helps people with acne and wrinkles, which you can rarely see on 10 years old as far as I can remember. But still, it's a must-have in children's skincare routine for some reason. Yeah, their products are colorful and fun, but you know what else is? Different toys, and they're even suitable for kids. What a surprise.
Go ahead and call me crazy or a sad beige mom for what I'm about to do. Today, I'm giving the step 2 My First Christmas Tree a total makeover. I can already hear you thinking that I'm gonna ruin my toddler's Christmas by painting over these colors. Absolutely love it, but let me know what you think.
Sorry for condemning the situation too fast. The toys shouldn't be fun and colorful. We have iPads and skincare for that. Toys should fit the aesthetics of your mom. Kids will see the colors on the screen, so it's okay. Let the whole world around them look like a gray bottle. You can change red Christmas balls to poop colored. Then make all their clothes gray to match the balls. And change their colorful eyes to brown to match the couch. Don't ask why my eyes are brown, I didn't choose to be aesthetically pleasant. But you can always choose to make my channel more beautiful. Just like this video and subscribe to my channel. I really need your support as a small creator. We're all being dramatic about iPad kids, I've seen worse methods of parenting. Like in 20th century, it was popular to cure the cough with some addictive and toxic stuff. Told you, could have been worse. But it doesn't mean that the internet affects kids in a good way. Because that's what they're watching. Or this Paw Patrol, please wake them up, Sky is so sad. Guys, I'm trying to be understanding, but sometimes it's extra hard to understand. Go on, watch your weird cartoons, but the animated content mustn't be related to kids in any way. I believe that the most terrifying thing that could be found on YouTube is the YouTube Kids section. I've seen a lot of stuff I wish I couldn't see on YouTube, and playlists for kids are the worst. But the internet is too huge to make it fully safe for kids. So instead of touching the grass, Gen Alpha tends to spend their time on streams like this one. I thought I had a long concentration. Never saying a bad word about myself again. The person on the stream plays everything at once? My brain can't comprehend this video. How are those kids going to work as grown-ups? Playing Roblox during meeting and taking breaks to scroll TikTok while playing mobile games? And it's not even a joke.
How's that?
I heard that people can't do.
It's a good thing to teach children how to multitask. But they also need to be more single-minded on, like, singular tasks. From
Yes,
time to time. Like,
they do.
Playing a game or something, it's like, of course, you want to be aware of your surroundings and answer questions and stuff. But playing 2 different things or watching a video and playing a game, like, on the same screen is just crazy.
It is, and it takes a lot of their eye ability away.
Yeah.
I mean, it really screws with vision.
Yeah, and they don't even, and beyond that, just like, the cognitive ability to understand what you're seeing and to retain what you were seeing is like...
So it's almost pointless.
Yeah, it's completely out the window. It's just like, again, here, now, you know, not thinking about, like, retention of that information later.
Exactly. I mean...
I see why there's a lot of problems with, like, learning.
Yes.
With these generations as well.
Yeah, especially starting off kids at, like, 1-year-old, constantly watching something.
Yeah. Like, to the point where they're scrolling in their sleep.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean, we saw that. It was like
that's just sick, you know?
I mean, that's...
Like, that was sick.
Yeah, that was ridiculous. Anything else, mother?
No, that's it.
Right.
3 things at once. But Gen Alpha is proving us wrong every day. Because it seems like he's doing nothing even though he tries so hard. I was always irritated as a teenager when my parents thought that I spent a lot of time on the phone. I had all my friends there at the time. But Gen Alpha has not only their friends and interest in their social media. It seems like their whole mind has been transported into the iPads. You know, I always liked Karen from SpongeBob. But I imagined people transforming into computers the different way. Because of that lifestyle, children started to develop a low concentration, which is very hard to manage. At this point, teachers started to quit their jobs because of their behavior.
I'm done. You quit? Not to be disrespected by anybody. I don't know who you people think you are, but you don't treat anybody like this. It's not funny.
I finished school years ago, so it was hard to believe and relate to it at first. But after seeing the comments, I realized how big the problem is. My history teacher quit on the second day of school. My third grade class made 4 teachers quit in 2 weeks. Oh, so the man from the video lasted longer than expected. I genuinely feel sad for all teachers, because it's a new reality that I don't know how to deal with. All my teachers wanted to quit. I meant white. Wrong word and meant. You meant all your teachers want to quit, and by your lack of your grammar skills, I don't blame them. English isn't my first language. And from my personal experience, people who are the hardest on you when you make mistakes are non-native speakers too. But when native speakers start to correct you, it's a sign that you gotta do something about it. Of course you could learn it in school. But since all teachers are quitting and schools don't teach us more important things than maths and English, we'll try to learn something about Gen Alpha language.
What are your thoughts on millennials?
I mean, it's pretty fire. I wish I could go back and meet some of my ancestors. The drip wasn't as good.
What does drip mean?
Like style. Yeah, like if you see me right now, you say, oh, drippier.
I already see how many millennials started to cry after being called ancestors. Well, throw away your skinny jeans and we'll talk. I'm joking. Don't worry, Gen Alpha doesn't know that at 30 years old, you're not an elder who saw how Egypt's pyramids were built.
If you want to call somebody cool, what would you say? Like
Probably like mad lit on God or something. Mad lit on God, no cap.
Mad lit on God, no cap, banana, laptop, freezer. I thought those words will complement the phrase. Teachers, don't quit your jobs. Learn the slang and start.
I don't even know any of that slang. Did you understand any of it?
No, yeah. Like,
no God on
no
cap.
No cap. Okay, cap is like lying. So
Okay.
no cap is no lying. And fire, of course, is like that's awesome.
Yeah.
You know, it's like So like, what else was there?
On God. You know, God is.
I swear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
No lie.
I didn't know any of that, so you knew more than me on that one.
Because I play Minecraft with Justin and his friends.
I do
a lot,
too.
So, you know, listen to the chat.
I try to.
Mewing. And your students will start to respect you. And don't laugh at it. I'm being pretty serious here. Grandfather, it's your last minute with us. Do you want to say anything? Skibidi dop 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 dop. Yes, 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 yes. He saw something really scary. Let's pray for him. I'm curious if this reaction is only on something scary and Gen Alpha has different memes on every emotion. Or Skibidi dop 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 is suitable for every situation. Like, can I say that my channel is Skibidi dop dop dop? Yes, 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 yes. Or should I just shut my mouth and delete this moment from my memory? The internet has polluted children's brains so much that they simply don't know how to act in public and communicate with people. At least he's not a maniac, right? But for whom this kid was sending the pictures? Just send this little guy to Germany, they will teach him the right manners. Don't take pictures of strangers, run naked outside.
It's a PS5!
Oh my god!
Oh my god, I wanted a PC!
Wow.
PC, I don't like this.
What? A good parent would never buy a PS5 for their children. Try to.
Did you just hear that, honey? These kids were like, it was a PS5. And they're like, a PS5, that's BS. They're like, I wanted a PC.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I mean, that is, our son, Bullboy Productions, he's gone over a lot of the videos too. That are
That's his channel.
kids.
We call him Guru.
Guru, yeah. He's gone over a lot of different videos of kids that are spoiled. And if you go to his channel, you'll find a lot of those he's reacted to.
I think actually most of them are on the WBB live streaming.
Okay, WBB live streaming, that's the second channel.
Yeah, he definitely talks against the Gen Alpha, the iPad kids, and then, yes, the spoiled, ungrateful brats. Like that. He's got a few lives that he did.
Yes.
That's funny.
And I mean, it's ridiculous, some of these kids. They're willing to trash their house and trash their TVs and stuff just because of, not getting something that they wanted.
Yeah, and either a lot of those are scripted, or the parents really just don't care. They're just like, oh, okay, well, don't do that. Oh my gosh, I can't believe you're doing that. There was one the other day, she looked to be like a 16-year-old girl. And she was supposed to be getting a car for her birthday, and the mother gave her a Tesla. And
Oh my God, yes.
She wanted a pink Mercedes or something, and then the mother's like, "Well, I couldn't find any of those, and this is what I got you."
Yeah, and the kid just threw a fit over it.
And she's like, "I honestly thought that she'd be happy," and she's like, "I'm sorry, I thought you'd be happy." And it's like,
Yes.
why are you apologizing?
I know
for this insubordinate behavior?
Yeah, we never would have thought of doing that as kids.
Oh my God, no.
We would have gotten hurt. I mean,
Yeah, it's like, okay, well, it's this or nothing. You ungrateful.
Yeah.
So I dare try to
I
be
know.
ungrateful or for anything. It's like, even like some of these people, they do the joke where they give them the crappy car or something first, and so, and then it's like this big joke. Oh, they get them a better car afterwards.
Yes.
Like I was like, if I had gotten even the crappiest of the crappy car, even if it really, honest to God, didn't work, I would still have to be
Exactly.
grateful and thank you for thinking of me.
Yes.
I'll find something to do with it.
I'll make it work.
Yeah, never in a million years.
No.
Would I ever
Never.
think to deny it and even like to dare to make a complaint, even if
I
the
know.
complaint was valid.
Exactly. Never.
It's like never.
And
They're complaining over.
I mean, it's ridiculous.
It's like a $35,000 car.
Yes, I mean I'd be happy to have.
Yeah, I was like, okay, the only downside is the charging. And
Yeah,
the
that is a
batteries.
pain in the butt. I mean, I've
But
dealt with it.
If you live in the city and you're the kind of people who buy cars or lease cars regularly, then what does
Yes.
it matter?
It doesn't.
It's like what started this was that I don't know if you included it, but the 4-year-old, remember they were buying her a Tesla.
Yeah, that one's not on here right now. I
That's
don't
what
think.
started this whole thing.
Yes.
Where it was like, I can't believe we kind of came around to something else here, but the influencers.
Exactly.
And how they can just drop money.
Oh, I know it.
Stupidest things, and the kids are so ungrateful.
They're very ungrateful, and they just, oh my God. I don't even know what to say about it.
No. They finish this one out and then
Yep.
be done.
We'll be done. So let's get this done.
In future for PS6 at least. Even though this child isn't grateful at all and throws tantrums, I can blame on the parents. And it applies on all videos you've seen today. Good parenting doesn't include spending half of the time on the iPad because it's easy. Don't critique your child for being ungrateful, it's only your own fault. I don't like blaming kids because they can't be fully responsible for their deeds. They do what their parents put in them. And now unfortunately it seems like they put in them only the unlimited amount of the internet. So don't be surprised when the only orthographically right words your children can spell are Sigma, Skibidi Toilet, Ohio, and Bruh. No, seriously, look at the comments with only those words. Sus Ohio toilets. Bruh, average toilets in Ohio. Now look at the full sentences. When they eated the poop, they turned Skibidi toilets. The word coming. Don't ask me what this video was about. I don't know and I don't want to know. I want to point out that we shouldn't blame Gen Alpha for acting a certain way. Firstly, it's not all of them, and secondly, it's the fault of their parents. I believe that you mustn't restrict children from trendy things. But let's not forget what every kid needs. Attention, love, spending time in real life with their friends and family, PC, and drunk elephants. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I'm a small creator and it is really important for me. Bye!
She ends with that drunk elephant. Oh my God, that is everywhere. Maybe we'll look back on that and do some stuff on it.
The other day, we heard something. What was it? We saw somebody. They were from a different country. And there was a child, and they were asking us if you had some money, what would you do with it? And okay, they asked the father first, right? And he's like, well, I'd fix up the house, and I'll buy nice things for my family, buy food for the family. And they asked the kid the same question. Well, if you had a bunch of money, if you had any money, what would you do with it? And it was very modest things the same way. I would buy things to help my brothers and sisters.
Yeah, I'd buy some clothes, I'd buy...
Yeah. Really reasonable things.
Yes.
And then you compare that to, you'll find these on those videos you're talking about on Guru's channels.
Yes.
This list for, $700 worth of products.
Yes.
From Sephora and UGG and those Stanley cups,
The bane of your existence right now.
And they're like 10.
Yeah.
They're 10 years old.
10 years old, wanting this stuff. Wanting materialism. This is, what do you call it? Capitalism at its finest.
Yeah.
Taking over.
Excess.
Yes.
There's no boundaries, the things
Yeah,
that
it's
they're
insane.
asking for is just it's quite incredible. And it's like I know a lot of these mothers made these TikToks saying, "Oh no, she's not getting that. Oh no, she's not." But how much do you want to bet that they actually got that?
Well, if you watch 2/3 of those, they actually got them for them.
Yeah, or at least the gift card so that they
Yes.
can go get it themselves.
Exactly.
It's just,
And it's
you go around and around in circles and nobody learns anything.
it's mind-boggling.
That's right. Is it mind bottling? What you can do when your mind's all in a bottle.
Yep.
I don't know. This is a little bit of a different Woke Wednesday.
Yep.
Try to get back to the compilations next week. I didn't hope we set that up. So.
No, but it was still a good one.
And
You know, it's still stuff that needs to be gone
It
through.
is still a woke subject.
It is, for sure. So, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed it. Have a great rest of your week, and we'll be back Friday with another more serious one. So, namaste. Take care, everybody. Always end on a good note.